My 31M wife 28F of 4 years cheated on me with a coworker and is genuinely sorry. Should I forgive her? My wife and I have been together for 7 years. Married 4. We have a great marriage and 2 children 3F and 2M. We were each other's one and only sexual partner. Last week she ended up going home with a coworker on Friday night. Lying and saying it was a work function. Specifically, she texts me around 7:30 that a work function suddenly came up and she has to go. I was a bit pissed since we planned to watch a movie at home and she cancelled without notice. But I saw no reason to mistrust her. She said she would be back by 9:30 and I was okay with that. Then she ends up coming back at 11:30 in hysterics. She's crying and mumbling and admits she slept with her coworker. Lots of anger and crying on my end and we spent the whole night discussing it. She said that her coworker, a younger guy who had been flirting with her for weeks very persistently, she did not tell me about this. Her reasoning being that it would have never led to something anyway, and showered her with compliments. Finally broke down her barriers and they had sex at his place 3 times in 2 hours. She said she felt like she missed out on something by only being with one sexual partner. So did I, but I didn't fucking cheat and wasn't thinking rationally. She said she got caught up in the moment for weeks, it seems, and she never planned to cheat on me. She said being treated like a sexy desirable woman by a young handsome guy only clouded her thinking further. I'm not so sure what she means by this since we have plenty of sex. At least 3 times a week. As well as frequent date nights. I asked her to show me her phone, email and media right there, and there's no sign of him at all. They never spoke outside of work. I thought she might be lying and covering her tracks, but I verified this in the following days and contacted my service provider and used a text recovery program, and they never had any contact outside of work. My wife is saying it was a one-time mistake and will never happen again. She decided to quit work, handed in her notice already, and also outed the coworker due to the no fraternization policy, and is searching for another job. She also promised to give me complete open access to all her media whenever I want and is pretty much begging me not to leave her. She has apologized and shed more tears than can be counted in numbers. I wanted to stay away from her for a while, but my kids need me, so I told her to give me my space in the house while I think things through. My wife wants to do couples counseling and therapy and wants to pay for it herself so as not to burden me. She's taking full blame for the cheating and assures me I did not contribute to it at all. I never thought I would be the type to consider forgiving cheating. I always thought I would steel myself and go no contact without a second's hesitation. I'm trying to determine the pros and cons of this. Pros: 1. She confessed immediately and with full honesty, answering all of my questions truthfully. 2. She's quitting her job and completely separating from this guy. 3. She's giving me full access to her media. 4. She's taking full blame and responsibility for cheating. 5. She is genuinely remorseful. I know this for a fact. 6. She's using her own disposable income to pay for counseling and therapy. 7. Apparently a marriage can become stronger after infidelity. Not sure if this is true, but I doubt it. The possibility is there, I suppose. 8. I really do love my wife beyond measure and can't imagine loving another woman or having another woman be the mother of my children. Cons: 1. She fucking cheated on me. We have kids, damn it, and she actually fucking cheated. 2. She lied to me about this work function bullshit. She deliberately texted me a lie to cover for her getting pounded by the coworker. 3. She admits that the sex was mind-blowing and she enjoyed it immensely. 4. She never told me about the flirting, even as it went on for weeks. 5. She wasn't drunk. She willingly and intentionally had sex with him. This one hurts a lot, since she decided to forsake our family just for a few hours with the coworker. 6. Trust will take a very, very long time to rebuild, if at all. I don't know if I want to invest years into trying to repair what might be fundamentally broken. 7. I fear her cheating may have permanently destroyed any potential intimacy with my wife. Just seeing her or thinking of her conjures images of her getting fucked by the other guy, and it would be impossible to not think of such things during intimacy. 8. I have lost a huge amount of respect for her. I doubt I have any left. Our marriage and children apparently meant so little to her that she chose the guy's dick over them. Also, all it took to get her to throw away all notions of fidelity and loyalty were a few weeks of flirting and compliments. I thought my wife had a modicum of self-control and dignity, but it appears I'm wrong about this. What do I do? Kids? Try to work through this or just say fuck it and move on? For the latter, I can be a vengeful Chillingsworth-like bastard, so I would probably pretend to forgive her while secretly making moves to get a favorable divorce settlement for myself. It's probably just fantasy, but I'll be damned if I don't try my hardest to not get screwed out of everything I worked so hard to achieve the last 10 years. If there are any pros and cons I missed, please mention them. TL. Doctor. Wife cheated. Don't know if I should forgive her or not. Next story. My 31M girlfriend 28F of 4 years has just cheated on me for the third time. Why do I still want to forgive her? A little background. We met whilst working at the same place. Yeah. I know. Big mistake, but not in the same department. We were very close, had similar interests and taste in music, and for about 6 months. All was good. Then incident number 1 happened. She was at a festival, and happened to meet one of her exes there. They were both drunk, and kissed each other. After the festival ended, she came back but seemed off with me. After a few days she admitted to it, and said she still had feelings for him. At this point, alarm bells were ringing. But we talked long and hard. She told me that her feelings for me were stronger, and I forgave her. Afterwards, our relationship blossomed and we eventually moved in together. All was right in the world. At this point she was involved in a sports team, which I became infatuated with the sport, not the team. I also got into it, initially helping out and then joining a men's team in the next county shortly after. A very close-knit community enveloped both of us. We shared some friends, developed our own. More on this later. After 2 years, we had an argument to end all arguments. Truths were told about both of us. I am just as stubborn as her, which caused some passionate vitriol to emanate from both of our mouths. We decided to part ways on barely amicable terms. At this point, we were still working in the same building. Feeling very vulnerable, I tried to avoid her at all costs on the basis that I couldn't bear to see her for fear of unsuppressed emotions flooding back into my life. We both dated a few people during this time. Nothing worked out. After 4 months things happened. We got back together. She was living in the next town across. Once again, we were inseparable. Before I knew it, she'd moved back in. All was good. Then incident number 2 happened. She left her Facebook logged into my PC Facebook. The cause of all relationship problems, it seems. Usually it's my login, because, it's my PC, and I saw a message thinking it was for me. It was in fact a guy who she had been flirting with quite heavily for a few weeks. After confronting her, she admitted her fault once again. I forgave her. Once again. She promised to delete him from FB. And we talked through it to make sure there wasn't any lingering issues that might affect us in the long run. For the past 6 months or so, our lives have felt complacent. We're happy around each other. But our sex life has dissipated somewhat. I cannot tell you exactly why. It just seems that both of us go to bed exhausted and fall straight to sleep. It happens once every 3 weeks and I have to initiate. Not ideal. But again, we talked about it like adults and realized that the simple act of going to bed slightly earlier than planned improved it. Also, after 4 years, naturally sex becomes less frequent unless you intervene and talk it through. At least, that's the advice I've taken from life. So, this year all was good. I decided I was going to join the local team to her. Affiliated but independent of their actions. I was aware of the potential issues of boyfriend, girlfriend in the same hobby. Playing for the same-ish club. I made the decision that we were going to be fine. Our relationship was stable and happy. And then, 2 days ago, incident number 3 happened. She went out with her teammates and friends on Sunday. Alcohol was involved. I've known she was bi for a while. But a teammate of hers admitted she had feelings for my girlfriend about a year back. GF tells her that she's in a relationship and doesn't want to pursue it further. Turns out that this same woman grabbed my GF on the dance floor on Sunday and kissed her. In front of most of our mutual friends and some of my personal friends. There was no resistance. Apparently nothing else happened. And I'm inclined to believe my friends that this was the case. She stayed round another friend's house that night. Yesterday, I opened the door to a crying partner. She told me everything that happened. She wanted to tell me first rather than through a friend. So at least she was honorable in that respect. I started to feel that horrible confusion of emotions. Anger. Vulnerability. Distrust. Sadness. Eventually she decided she was going to stay at her parents' for a few days whilst we have time to think about what to do. My immediate reaction was strike 3. Won't get fooled again and pass the night watching films. This morning, I woke up and felt remorse. I felt weak and broken. I've always tried to be the best person I can to her. So how could this happen? What did I do? And yet, even after all of this, I still love her. I still love that smell on her clothes. The silly little things she says to make me burst out with laughter. Her addiction to particular films. Her infatuation with trashy romance novels. Inexplicably, I want to forgive her if she's honest about why it happened. I try to be as understanding as possible to everyone I meet. Because I know that sometimes what appears on the outside may not be what's happening on the inside. She says she still loves me. But she doesn't know what that means and she needs a few days to figure it out. I don't know what that means either. If she doesn't want to be with me, angry me thinks it's not her decision to make. Then she still wants to be friends. I can't see that happening. Being friends with someone who hurt me. At the moment, I don't know what her intentions are and I probably won't know for a day or two. What should I do? Am I being an idiot for letting her know I can forgive? Is there any point trying? This post is actually way longer than I anticipated. Sorry. TLDR, girlfriend cheated on me the third time with a teammate. In front of all our friends. And I still want to talk it out.